Hello! I am so happy to be able to announce the 9th recipient of the White Pube Writers Grant, which is funded by Creative Debuts. This 9th award goes to, drumroll, Natalie Tan. I'm just going to read out a quick bio. Natalie Tan is a cultural practitioner and writer based in London, expressed with an unbridled passion influenced by the forever classic emo tracks of the 2000s. She examines maladaptive wistfulness, traditions formed from migration, and the impact of colonialism on Hong Kong and its diaspora. She is the author of Simmer Down, an ongoing bi-weekly reflection on food and memory, and is currently writing her first play on family, loss and Hong Kong as part of Bush Theatre's West London Playwrights group. Her work has been included in diaCRITICS, Radio Slumber and the Breakfast Bee reading series. We got an email from Natalie. She sent us some back issues of her bi-weekly newsletter, Simmer Down. And after we started the food page on our website last year, we've been hoping to be able to support somebody else's writing around the subject. When Natalie's work came along, it was just a perfect fit because her writing is so sensitive, descriptive, atmospheric and personable. The writing feels all visibly based in the political and the historical too, which we found incredible value and energy in. It's really enjoyable writing to read as both writers and wannabe food eggheads ourselves. So we are really excited to be able to support Natalie and Simmer Down, and we hope you find the same joy in her work. So I'm going to stop chatting now, and Natalie is going to read Strawberry Jam Tinted Glasses and On the Reliability of Dumplings. These audio snippets are a nice way to listen to texts if you prefer this as a format rather than reading the actual texts themselves, just in the writer's own voice. But if you do want to read it as a text, both of these are linked on our Writers Grant page. That's the White Pube /Writers Grant. And there's also a link to the rest of the Simmer Down archive. So yeah, I'm going to stop chatting now and let Natalie read away. See you in a bit.
Strawberry Jam Tinted Glasses. A side effect of waiting out a global pandemic is having to endure, amongst other psychological obstacles, nostalgia. I think about the comforts of home, Saturday dinners at my grandma's, slurping grass jelly and fresh tofu fa during a heat wave. I listen to Dua Lipa's album Future Nostalgia. While we are sucked into an archaic time loop, she bursts in a noughties era bandana top and loose cargo trousers, claiming to disrupt our repetition, masked as timelessness, like John Lautner building a geometric house on the side of the Hollywood Hills. I think about attending a gathering and meeting someone really great, and tipsily speaking with my hands while lamenting on the current political climate after mentioning 10 times that I'm from Canada. I think of McDonald's pizza. I think of Supreme Pizza on Victoria Drive. I think about buying Wing Wing Lapcheung, the lapcheung traveling from East Hastings Street in Vancouver to the Asian supermarket in Alberton that I traveled to by red double-decker bus. I moved halfway around the world to the colonizer to eat Wing Wing Lapcheung. I remember my struggle to formulate words, color, and form around navigating the inherited debris of migration and a cultural duality, my painting teacher telling me to read Svetlana Boym's The Future of Nostalgia. She might have told everyone to read The Future of Nostalgia. On page 14 of the introduction, Boym begins beating away wistfulness with pragmatism, but not before saying, "At first glance, nostalgia is a longing for a place. But actually it is a yearning for a different time, the time of our childhood, the slower rhythms of our dreams. In a broader sense, nostalgia is a rebellion against the modern idea of time." I think about Boym randomly when I listen to Lipa sing "Let's Get Physical," but not in the melody I expect, not along to the tune I'm used to, and the songstress beams me into a dark, smoky, intergalactic nightclub. September 2020 brings my 30th birthday. I think about birthday parties at my house and the ceremonial unveiling of the Dairy Queen ice cream cake, round and stark white, adorned on the top with colorful translucent gel-like icing that illustrates Sailor Moon's power pose, punishing you in the name of the moon. An original DQ ice cream cake is formed atop a small base of chocolate soft serve covered with a thin layer of intensely sweet chocolate fudge and a heavy sprinkle of crushed, chunky chocolate cookies. A thick layer of crisply milky soft serve fills the remaining height and is decorated with a border of piped white frosting that I usually scrape off. Different from McDonald's or Wendy's, DQ soft serve tastes like the physical embodiment of clarity. Lifting it to your face brings a waft of icy air that graces your features like you're rummaging around your freezer on a hot summer's day. In my family, DQ ice cream cakes are served exclusively during barbecues sometimes and birthdays always, and they never fail to elicit oohs and ahs when they're taken out of the freezer. Plastic domes popped off make way for the knife patiently waiting on the sidelines, soaking in a tall glass of water. Can anything be better? Enter the Strawberry Cheesecake Blizzard Ice Cream Cake. YES. Cradled by a base of vanilla soft serve is a layer of surprisingly tart strawberry jam made of real strawberries. The delight does not end there. On top is a blend of strawberry ice cream with flecks of those tart pops of fruit puree and squares of cheesecake with graham cracker crust. It's all finished off with piped frosting, but I don't scrape it off. At this point, it doesn't matter because I am entranced. The chocolate fudge and vanilla cake is the classic to which I will always owe my devotion, like I will always sultrily sway to Olivia Newton-John's Physical, but the Strawberry Cheesecake Blizzard ice cream cake has changed the game. It's the classic evolved, smashing out of its cocoon, a freezer, in a final form familiar yet spinning at new high velocities. It's Dua Lipa's Physical, turning our expectations a total 360 degrees. Svetlana Boym says that nostalgia itself is a utopian dimension, only it is no longer directed toward the future. Sometimes nostalgia is not directed toward the past either, but rather sideways. The nostalgic feels stifled within the conventional confines of time and space. Nostalgia is a tool for escapism in times of crisis, with people looking to the past to cope with our collective feeling of impending doom. COVID-19 has caused universal trauma, felt in varying extremes, splitting our lives into pre- and post-Rona, with the latter nowhere in sight. We have lost life because of it, life has been lost in proximity to it, and for many of us we have painfully lost time. Time to plan a future within reach, to see new sights, and to be with others new and old. This year, on my 30th birthday, I will not be at home with my family to honor those that gave me life, the palm of my hand cold against a plate carrying a slice of DQ ice cream cake, and without it, my brain is fixated, hearkening back to it, not calling it by name but through the playback of memories that move between a bounce and a thrash in the confines of my skull, of four walls, and of an island far away from home. On the reliability of dumplings. Bright, fresh, airy, I wrote in my notebook for this newsletter. Try to evoke the feeling of a sunny spring day with a slight breeze coming through the windows. I allowed myself a rare moment of optimism last week after a bright and clear day transitioned into luminescent navy skies at 5:30 p.m. The figurative boulder that permanently crushes my chest shifted a little to let me take a momentary breath in the present, relieving me of my role as hostess to the unwelcome thoughts that have lingered for the last 300 days I've spent inside, marking all the ways I've wasted my life. I hate my phone, I think to myself. I've always hated my phone, but I need to charge it twice a day now because I can't stop doom scrolling. I look away from my phone to my laptop where I doom scroll on LinkedIn between jobs I won't get and notifications suggesting I congratulate others on getting hired. I click the clapping reaction on their posts, and sounds of slaps travel through the real air, but it's me tapping my stomach in an attempt to calm down my heartburn. Seeking balms and challenges instead of rest, I search for new recipes to cook in order to feel productive and to pause my sidelong glances at my phone. Last March, I foolishly bought only 5 items on what would be my final trip to the Asian supermarket: pears, golden curry roux, udon, lapchung, and dumpling wrappers. I thought our 2-week lockdown would allow me to learn how to make pot stickers from scratch to pass the time, not realizing that I would be making 99% of my meals and 100% of my dumplings from scratch for the foreseeable future. The first batch had a lot of room for improvement. Still, I gobbled them up, and when I ran out, I felt a deep uncertainty akin to running low on rice. What hot meal encapsulates convenience and satisfaction, embodies tender care, and mimics warm hugs in a time when we can't touch more than a plate of dumplings? The existence of dumplings in your life is a form of self-care and survival, a sign that you are always looking out for yourself. Buy a bag to freeze in anticipation of uninspired days where you can eat enough to make a meal. Fry, steam, or boil them on mornings when you have time to stand at the stove and revel in a moment of near silence when all you can hear is the bubbling of water or the sizzling of oil. The practice of making dumplings, kneading and rolling the dough, mixing the filling with your hands, and the pursuit of the perfect pleat is an act so impeccably meditative it has the capacity to drown out both inner turmoil and outer chaos. From delicately pressing the seams to freezing them individually so they don't stick together, there is intense care and intention infused into this process that brings a sort of pleasure to your soul that media projecting from your phone never could. To be gratified with the final product visually is payoff enough, but to sink your teeth into a homemade dumpling, blistered, crisp, chewy, and savory, elicits unparalleled pride. Due to their resemblance to Chinese gold ingots, dumplings are eaten during Lunar New Year festivities for good luck and to attract wealth in the coming year. We made half a batch of dumplings for our Lunar New Year Eve dinner, and as we rolled, filled, pleated, and pressed, I couldn't help but use the last iota of hope in my heart to wish for good fortune. What good is good fortune in uncontrollable circumstances, when a year ago you felt you were embarking on a path of possibility, of change, of growth, and it ended before it could even begin? Aside from good health and comfort for all, what do you wish for after you come to terms with the reality that making plans is no longer feasible? Maybe this year's fortunes instead come as lessons in gratitude in the everyday rather than in the anticipation of major positives and negatives. An abundance in gratitude to adapting to the unknown, to the comfort of looking out for yourself, and to the meditative practices that let you look away from your doom box so that when the sun presents itself long enough to illuminate night skies, the sight of it with the sound of leaves rustling and birds chirping reminds you that spring is coming, and in spite of everything falling apart, you are still alive.
Hello, it's me again. So, the White Pube Writers Grant is funded by Creative Debuts. Creative Debuts is a disrupting and democratising art platform focused on supporting artists and designers from underrepresented communities that may otherwise go under the radar. So as well as being funders for our Writers Grant, they also do the Black Artist Grant. Info for the Writers Grant is on our website, but check out Creative Debuts for info about the bag. the Black Artist Grant, and you can find them on Instagram as well. So that's creativedebuts.co.uk and at Creative Debuts on Instagram. The White Pube Writers Grant is a one-off £500 grant to be given out to a different working class writer based in the UK once every month. This grant has been set up to support writers of all ages who are early in their careers and would benefit from this no strings attached financial support to help them in whatever way they like, be that money to cover time to write, books, web hosting, printing, subscriptions, research, development, travel, or even just money to fund life expenses and rent. Some writers publish work on their own websites with little to no funding to encourage them. Others pitch to established publications and, if they are lucky, might get paid every once in a while to write for someone else. It's difficult to keep going and harder still to carve out the time to write, which is what writing needs. So we hope this grant will help towards those challenges in some small way. A recipient will be chosen monthly, and this grant is open to individuals, collaborations and groups. The writing could be fiction or non-fiction, creative, criticism, whatever it is you're working on. The White Pube will be selecting recipients, and these will be chosen based on their ongoing research as well as anybody who would like to put themselves forward. There is no formal application process. If you would like to get in touch, please email funding@thewhitepube.com with a very brief introduction to yourself, contact information and of course an example of your writing. This could be text in the body of the email itself, attached as a PDF, or a link to an external website or recording. There is no deadline, as this is a monthly rolling grant, and the grant does not expect any outcomes or reporting. We do have further FAQs on the Writers Grant page on our website, so if you have some questions, definitely double check the FAQs. Go to thewhitepube.co.uk or .com, either one, /writers grant, and all of that information that I just read out, plus the FAQs, plus all of the work of our previous recipients. I hope that you enjoyed Natalie's work, and I hope that you get a chance to check out that back catalogue and the previous issues of Simmer Down as well. That's all from me, so I will see you this time next month. Goodbye!